Hey, Chris Williams here. Hope you're having a great day. Listen, I got this question that came in and I thought, man, I think this would be something that we really should talk about, and hopefully I can provide you with a way to handle it. So the question is, how do you re-energize your creativity? I mean, I know for me as a person who's creative, as a keynote speaker, a lot of times there's a lot of things that I don't realize that sometimes I need in order to be able to re-energize that creativity, because whether you're working on a project, whether you're doing something at home with your family, or whether you're just trying to encourage the spice of your relationships, your personal relationships, your friends' relationships, whether you're looking to re-energize the creativity in your team at work, no matter where you are, I think it's important that we find techniques and ways in order to be able to do just that. So I want to offer you 4 different things that you can do in order to be able to re-energize your creativity. Number 1, the first thing you can do in order to re-energize your creativity is to stay highly engaged with people. And I know this may sound weird, but let me kind of give you a real life example. As a creative person myself, there's a lot of times where I might get an idea that may strike me and I become like Batman. I kind of recluse to my little corner and I spend hours and hours and I'm focused on it and I'm trying to make it work and all these different things. And to be truthful, a lot of times human interaction does much more for our creativity than isolation. And so I think it's really, really important that you as an individual, the first thing you have to realize is that whenever that idea sparks, or you guys get that budget approved for the project that you want to do, or you're looking for something new in your relationship personally, or, no matter what your role is in life, I think it's really, really important that you first stop and realize, you know what, I might need to stay engaged with people while I'm on this creative journey in the process. When you disengage, what happens is the only person you're relying on is you and the 6 inches up here. And a lot of times that's not enough. Some of the greatest ideas, products, things that we use on a day-to-day basis come out of the fact that many people collaborated and they came together and something was born. So the same thing happens with your creativity. You've got to stop and realize that, you know what, in order for this to be as successful or for my idea to become realized, I might need to stay engaged with the people around me. Number 2, the next thing you can do in order to ensure that the creativity continues and that you re-energize the right way is to realize progress is the name of the game. What do I mean by that? Well, it's very simple. Accomplish one thing once a day or once a week, or however long you have in order to get whatever you need done. So in creativity terms, if you're working on a project and you kind of lose the creativity, you've just been kind of by yourself, once you jump out of isolation and then you start working on the progress of the thing, accomplish one thing once a day. I know there's many things that you might have to do and there's a lot of things that you have to accomplish, but realize that as long as I accomplish one thing, I'm progressing towards my entire end goal. And so when you realize that and you stop and you take that big idea and you break it down into small chunks, then you recognize that yes, I can accomplish, and yes, I am moving forward, because it's more about the progress that you're making than the actual end journey when you're in the middle. See, when you're in the middle and you lose creativity, or you got multiple priorities that come up, or this happens and this breaks down, you got to stop and realize, how can I make sure that I'm being progressive in getting this accomplished versus looking at the entire picture? Write it down. Put 5 things on the list that you know need to get done now before you worry about the next thing. And when you do that, what'll happen is now you'll start to notice a path, and you can look at your accomplishments and say, okay, over the last 7 days, I was able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And you know that you're at least being progressive in understanding that I need to get this done. Number three is a little different approach when it comes to energizing our creativity. And here's what I want you to think about. A lot of times we're so focused on getting something done that we're burning a ton of energy. And sometimes what we need to do, and here's step 3, sometimes just step away. I mean, honestly, there's no simpler way to say it. Sometimes if you're so focused on it, you're going to look at all the imperfections, all the problems, all the things that need to get done. Listen, sometimes the best thing you can do for that idea to be realized and to re-energize your creativity is to step away from it and literally go and do something differently. You could, be in your office working on a particular project, or you've been on several phone calls, feel like everything is not going nowhere. You know what? Get up out of the office and go take a break. Go read, go get ice cream, go do something, but literally step away from it. Because creativity, a lot of times, if you've noticed, happens in spurts. To re-energize that creativity, you have to have some sort of interactions. I know for me, a lot of times the way it happens is I'll step away from whatever I'm doing and I may go do something else, and a thought will cross my brain. And that's what re-energizes me. And why? It's because I've put myself in a different environment. And so a lot of times what you want to be able to do is to just back away from it. When it's getting frustrating, when you don't feel like you're making the progress that you want, just back away. And I promise you that if you back away for a little while and come back to it, you've kind of reset your brain, you've reset your focus, and now you can continue. Number 4, here's a cool one that I think that I've learned this as a time management technique. I think it's great, and I think it's something that we should all jump into. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but I think it's something to recognize when it comes to re-energizing our creativity. And here it is. There's a time management technique called Pomodoros, okay? And this is a really cool time management technique, but to me, I liken it to more being progressive. How can I make sure that I'm getting accomplished the things that I need to in the least amount of time, so that I can continue to do the things and have the time for the other things that I want to do. A Pomodoro is simply setting a clock for 25 minutes or 20 minutes. But pick a time frame where what you're going to do is you're going to have absolute laser focus on what you need to get accomplished. Now, here's some ways that this can be beneficial to you. The first thing is that if you stop and realize, a lot of people, if you're at an office for 8 hours a day, no one is literally sitting there working for a straight 8 hours, no movement, no nothing. What happens? You go to lunch, you have somebody who calls in, you got an email that you respond to, those sort of things are happening. So what this allows you to do is completely focus without all the distractions. So the first way to do a Pomodoro is to first eliminate all distractions. Put your phone on airplane mode or do not disturb, okay? Because most of us look at our phones every, 2 to 3 minutes, right? And so we've got to eliminate that. Next, put your computer screen and just turn the screen off. Just turn it off. If you have to go to another room, go to another room, book a conference room, but get away from everything that can distract you from completing the task. And sometimes our computers can be the worst enemy, because you see the email notification pop up, such and such emailed you, this person needs something. Sometimes you got to eliminate these types of distractions. The other thing I would say is the reason why you want to also get rid of your computer or your phone is because we know this is a social media world. This is a right now response type of life that we're living in 2016. And so what I highly suggest is when you get rid of those things are no longer going to bother you. Your Facebook, Instagram, your Twitter, all of those things no longer can impede your ability to be able to get what you need done in those 25 minutes. The other benefit is that when you eliminate the distractions and you put yourself in a different place in order to get this work done, now you can truly hear what's going on in your brain. A lot of us like noise in the background. We call it white noise. Some of you have heard this before in your office or even at home. You might have the TV going and you got the radio playing. Some of us love those things and they work for us. I myself, it works for me. However, there are times where I eliminate all distractions because I need to hear myself think a lot of times. And sometimes that happens by me actually just stopping to recognize what is going on inside of my head. Make sure that I'm training my brain to think with focused concentration. And unfortunately, in today's world with so many different distractions out there, it's hard for us to do that. And I think it's something we need to get back to. And Pomodoros definitely help you make that laser focus concentration happen by just doing a Pomodoro. So set your alarm, whatever alarm you got to set, for 25 minutes. And for 25 minutes, you are going to accomplish a task. Now, here's the cool part about number 4 here as far as re-energizing creativity. Let's just say you have 4 different tasks that you need to get accomplished, right? And each one of those, you know, you're going to have to really break down each one and really put some focus in to get it done. Well, what does that mean? That means 4 tasks, 4 25-minute sessions, right? That means that you're going to have 25 minutes here. You add another 25 for this one. You add another 25 this one. You add another 25 this one. Basically, in an hour and a half of your day, you've been able to accomplish the small things or the big things that you need to get done because you, for 25 minutes, put complete focus on it. Now, what does that mean? In the long term, if you only did 5 or 6 Pomodoros a day, wow, look how much you could actually get accomplished. Look how much you actually got done. And the reason why it works is because, remember, you eliminated all distractions and all you did was focus on that for just 25 minutes, not 8 hours, not get this thing done and it's 11 a.m. and get it back to me by 2. So now I gotta compete with all these priorities. No, you stopped, you focused, and now you can deliver a better product, a more concise product, because you've got laser focus, you're paying attention, and now you can walk away knowing, yep, I put in the time, I put in the work, but I also decrease the amount of distractions, which means it doesn't take me as long to get something done. So you can use it at work, you can use it at home, you can use it wherever you want to. But the cool part is that this is a great way in order to be able to re-energize your creativity and make sure that you're focused and getting things accomplished that you need to. And when you do these things, and when you use these 4 tips that I gave you, this is what you can do in order to make sure that your life is pointing you the way forward. Hey, did you enjoy that? I hope you did. More importantly, I hope that you actually see this as a value add to your personal life and you go and apply it, because that's the only way knowledge becomes power. Listen, I thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I hope that it motivated you. I hope that it inspired you. Whether you take this to your teams, your friends, your coworkers, your organization, whatever you choose to do, let's continue on this relationship. Now that you've had a chance to view this video, hit the subscribe button. When you do, you will automatically be notified every time that we produce some new content. On top of that, if you want to be able to get access to my blogs, go ahead and go to my website, thechristopherwilliams.com, and I promise to make sure that each week you have instant access, stuff that'll hit you right in your email box once a week, not all the time, so that you know when there's new content. Listen, I thank you so much for your time. I hope that you make forward progress the most important part to your day. Take care.